Real quick video today looking at the charts before we head into the weekend here. This did nearly exactly what I thought it was going to do. Certainly didn't do it exactly the way I thought that it would, though. You can see the breakout here. Kind of expected that. Looked really strong end of session yesterday. Broke higher, continued to go here, filled the gaps, almost got to the highs, and then we got this massive breakdown here. Still got the 200, still got a little bit of structure, but this rising wedge has broken now, and it's going to be interesting to see if this zone ends up holding or not, or is this just a function of the tariff announcement today. Do me a quick favor and like and subscribe and watch the video till the end to help out the channel, and let's get started. So like I said, tariffs. Trump announced tariffs on Canada and Mexico and China starting Saturday. He reaffirmed that this was going to happen, 25%, as well as a 10% duty on China in retaliation for illegal fentanyl being sourced and allowed to enter the country. So we'll see what impacts this has on markets. I feel like we knew this, but the announcement came out this afternoon. You can see mid-afternoon, right around the time that we saw those bigger breakdowns in markets. So pointing at this as the catalyst, maybe it was technical in origin. It's really hard to say, but either way, tariffs seems like they're starting this weekend. And then, like I said, real quick, just getting into the markets here, you can see we were down 0.5% for the S&Ps, a little bit worse than I expected. Like I said, I thought we'd get the breakout. I thought we'd consolidate a little bit up here at this record high, but now we've touched the zone, filled the gaps, and broken down. So that's not great. You can see after hours selling off a little bit, big volume coming through there. The 200 on the hourly there is at 630 cents. That needs to hold. 599.64 has been an important level multiple times. That is also your next support. So we'll see if this continues to crater here. It absolutely could, but for now, I think we'll probably find a little bit of support in here. I would like to see a breakdown retest somewhere back into 605. If you retest breakdown, that's going to be the big movement in my opinion. Momentum continues to fade on the daily RSI, breaking down, volume selling. So definitely potential for selling, but not everything has broken yet. And then looking at the Tasty charts here just for a moment, you can see obviously back in bearish conditions with the break of the trailing stop here. We were in bullish for a little bit, back into bearish, so continues to consolidate. Really didn't break this trading range. We've been in the same trading range. The low from the 30th, and then you can see the low back here on the 29th continues to hold that low. We're right at it right now, so overall hasn't changed. You can see a ton of volume coming through on that sell. That's a little concerning. Generally with that kind of volume would expect a little bit more selling, but you do have the ATR band as some support at 600.54. We'll see if this kind of holds up, catch a bounce, retrace mid-range 605, and then if it sells from that on the retrace, that is going to be the bigger move. So we'll see. Right now, hoping for a little bit of a retracement of this bigger down move on the Monday. Moving over to the NASDAQ, the move here actually looked a little bit worse. We went much higher on the session, got the gap fill up to the 530 level. That was our next resistance if 526 broke, which it did. We did push to that next level, gap fill here. Didn't quite get to the trend. I thought we might get there, 533.17. The trend was here. We looked really strong. We got about halfway through that trading range, and then the news broke out, and then we got this massive breakdown here. You can see it on the hourly chart, big selling through here, right down to the 200. So like I said, 200 continues to hold support there. That's 521.48 critical zone in there. 519.48 is the next level here. Momentum, slightly bearish, volume on the selling. Everything says tariffs are going to be a problem, but it seems like tech is holding up a little bit better. So you got the S&Ps down 0.5%, tech only down about 0.15%, but if you take it from top to bottom, this was almost a 2% move. So these huge intraday reversal candles, I tend to get kind of messed up on these because I was playing for the rally, playing for the touch in here. We got the break above the level, and then I just wasn't watching this very closely at the 530 level, and then I kind of got taken for a wash here on this down move, which was a bit of a bummer. But for now, holding some support, watching 519. At best, you're choppy. At worst, you're going to look for a little bit of a break here and potentially push back to the 514.90 area. Again, like I said, I would like to see a retest, then lower high setup, sell off if it was going to go lower, but for now we're holding support. And then similarly here on the NASDAQ versus the SPY, on the Tasty charts, you can see holding this bottom in here, technically a higher low. The structure is still a little better than the SPY on the Tasty charts, so I like to see that. The volume on the selling was not as strong. Overall, this looks a little bit better to me. We'll see if it can hold this and retrace or not, but for now, I like this a little better. versus the SPY charts. Moving over to the Russell and the Dow, the Russell sold off nearly 1% to the level. 226.02 continues to be the support. Tried to break out, couldn't do it, sold off, and again, kind of got taken to the cleaners a little bit on that. It was down $2 on the day. I think I lost every bit of that $2, which is a bummer. But either way, we're in the same consolidation range, waiting to see if this holds or not. If it breaks, 21 EMA, 224.47. Momentum continues to fade. We're right at the RSI. We'll see if it breaks here or not. And then looking at the Dow, Dow pulled back as well, nearly 1%, right to the level, 445.16. Touched it. Low of day was 445.04. That needs to hold. Again, if it breaks, then we're looking for a pullback into this range here, 435.80. You do have some trends in here that could hold, but we'll see. I would be looking for a little bit deeper cut, especially with this momentum rolling here now. Moving over to Apple and Microsoft, just real quick. Apple had a huge move up. The high of day was 247, and then we finished all the way down at 236, down over $10 from that move. So we were up really strong, hoping to hold that. Couldn't quite get to the trend, and then you got the sell with everything else. And then looking at Microsoft, managed to stay positive, just barely, 7 cents there, continues to hold support at 413. It's going to hold, it needs to do it now. If this breaks, that is catastrophic for me. Moving over to Amazon and Alphabet, look at these doing really well on the day, holding their gains, 1.3% on Amazon. Didn't make a new high, but it was able to hold the gains, bounce off the level here at 233. Had some continuation, I'm sure it gave some of that back on the catalyst move, but overall, not bad. And then look at Google, absolutely massive, 1.5% through the trend line here. Record close, record trend break. At this point, you're looking for a move in here. Let's go ahead and extend that out just slightly. Somewhere in here makes sense, maybe 211 potentially. Really, really strong move. You have to respect the move here. 3 gap and goes, 2 big gap and goes, and I would expect a push, like I said, into the trends around 211. Moving over to staples and discretionary, both of these selling, a little bit of everything selling here today, which is the worst kind. When you see everything selling, that's usually a good time to be out of markets, and staples are selling, discretionaries are selling. Staples sold a little bit more. Tariffs are not good for any of these companies. They might be good for America. I think that's probably up for debate, but certainly not good for business, at least in my opinion. Moving over to the dollar. Dollar went higher, makes sense. We also expected it to go a little bit higher with the breakout yesterday, closed above the level here, retested the level, got the news, rocketed higher. It's almost like it was on time, but now we're right at the 21 EMA. We said that's where we were going if we were going to continue this run here, and sure enough we did. 21 EMA, 108.56. High of day was 108.56. So we touched the level. Now we're going to see if we can push through there or not. Trend resistance up here, 108.93. Momentum bullish, RSI bullish. The dollar seems like it's set to go higher, which is not such a great thing for equities. It could absolutely consolidate in here just because we are so extended to the upside after this multi-month rally here that we've been seeing since end of September. And we are now here beginning of February. So we'll see. Like I said, looks a little bullish to me. Maybe we get a little bit of consolidation. Got a trend here. Overhead resistance is 109.5. Moving over to bonds, JNK sold off about 0.25%. TLT sold off about 0.5%. Yields went a little higher. The dollar went a little higher. Equities went down. Bonds went down. So all of that makes sense. Really want this 21 EMA to hold in there at 87.06. We'll see if that ends up doing it or not. Right now, you have to assume the catalyst is going to be a little bit bearish. That's kind of an overall change in fundamentals. I still think this is an opportunity here for bonds. I don't think it's going to shift that much, but certainly not great news for assets. Moving over to the VIX here just for a moment. We did go a little lower. We expected to go a little lower, but we couldn't get as low as the level of 14.7, so we held a higher low and then we bounced right back up to the trend. That's not great. So now you have a low, higher low here. Push through the levels, fill the gap. Based on this, I would expect a little bit more move to the upside in here, maybe 18.5, maybe 20 potentially. So not super great for the VIX. VIX is still elevated. We'll see if it can go a little bit higher on the Monday or if it just kind of rejects off this trend and kind of chops in here maybe. Hard to say at this point, but based on what we see, close above the body of the candle, filled the gap, you would say this is a little bit bullish to me. Momentum slightly bullish as well. Moving over to my accounts, like I said, I got taken to the cleaners a little bit. Not super bad, but not great either. Like I said, lost every bit of that Russell money, which was frustrating. And then the Qs, intraday reversal, I was playing for a little bit higher move. I saw the breakout at 530, playing the breakout at 530, and then I did not take off my position at 530. I was distracted and I missed the move, so super frustrating there. rode it far too low after the break, and now you can see I did put on a position for the weekend. I put on some puts here, 518, 519, so pretty decently out of the money, close to 1% lower. You can see the credits here, $1.50 and $1.76 on those, so around $3 credit or about $1.50. Break even there is going to be right around 517, which does give me a fair amount of protection. It's about 1%, like I said, so as long as we can hold 1% on the Monday, I think I'll be in good shape. I did also sell a pretty far out of the money call at 532 for $2 credit or about $1.90, so another $4 credit total there. Just a very slightly bullish position. Just want to see a slight retracement or maybe sideways choppy consolidation for the Monday. If we continue to sell, obviously I'll take these positions off and look for the bearish move, but for now, looking for a slight bounce or maybe a consolidation day Monday. Let me know down in the comment section what you thought of the moves today. What did you think of the tariffs and the aggressive down move that we got off of those tariffs? Is that what you expected? Let me know. Otherwise, like and subscribe. If you got any value out of this video, make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes. Good luck in your trading and have a great day.